Let's get it. Heart throb never.
The heartbreak that some Caribbean islanders don't like American blacks. This is a funny situation for phenotypically black people, but specifically for American blacks because we never knew that there was particular delineation as an ethnic group from the other black brothers and sisters on the planet. You know, for the most part, the majority of American blacks, we all thought that if you're black, you're black. We didn't know that there was this variance amongst ethnic groups. Now, we knew that there were people born in other countries. You know, we knew that there were people from the islands. So we knew that there were black people everywhere, but we just thought that it was language that caused the separation. That's all we thought. We didn't know, for the most part, most American blacks didn't know that there was what's the best way I can put it? I don't want to say culture, because obviously if you're in another country, the culture could be different, but man, I don't know the word to use. Is it, is there a bloodline difference, that can cause the issues between the phenotypically black ethnic groups? And once again, I'll say again that some of the, phenotypically black other ethnic groups don't like American blacks. I'm not saying all of them, but there's been quite a discourse on the fact that, it's well known that many of them don't like American blacks. And, of course, then people say, well, American blacks don't like, other ethnically black groups. And, that may be true. But typically what we'll find is that American blacks, will adopt that ideology out of reaction to finding out that that's the case. And then once again, there is room for variance. So there could be some that just act that way because that's just who they are. But I don't know why they would act that way if they didn't know that the person was, not ethnically American black. You see what I'm saying? So, but the heartbreak part of it is on this. Let me say, my man Busta Rhymes just made disparaging comments, and man, this is why it's so heartbreaking, because there's so many, brothers and sisters from the islands that are talented, that have contributed artistically and otherwise to things that have enhanced the life experiences of people. And Busta Rhymes, for one, that's my man's, man, on a lyrical thing, man. But it's to hear him say some of the stuff that he said, initially is disheartening. It's disheartening, man. And who else? Like Nicki Minaj, you know what I'm saying? With her being from the islands, when Michael B. Jordan wanted to create that product, and I learned of this by way of Tariq Nasheed, when he wanted to create that alcohol beverage, that product, and he wanted to use a name from the country that she's from, her ethnic group was, real quick to shoot it down, y'all not us. We didn't know that this was the deal, What's another heartbreaking situation? Man, because there's so many people from, the islands that have come to America or were born in America, and they've contributed to things that have just made what we thought black people as a whole, just this super group. And now to find out that there's clear delineation, this is heartbreaking, man. And for those of you who have always known it, it may not affect you like that, but it's a sledgehammer to an ethnic group of people who, not that we were the only ones, but it's a sledgehammer to an ethnic group of people who've always had to fight systemic racism against an ethnic group that's, white. And so to have an influx of people come in and with their talents and abilities and, the different cultures and the foods, this was the greatest thing, for a group of people that had been systematically oppressed for the longest time, only to find out that many of these people have an outright disdain for American blacks. Like that. Like, you can't make this up, man. You can't make it up. Like, and I'm thinking, like, with who else? There's somebody else. Like, there's so many of them, man. Like, like all of the African, Nigerian, whatever country they from, as black people from Africa, all the athletes and actors and musicians and politicians and spiritualists and authors and everything, like, from the continent of Africa, for us to find out that a lot of them express a delineation to be separate from us and clearly have stated that we're not them. And then when you have those that laugh about the slavery of American blacks and have this disdain and supremacist attitude towards us, it's like, that's a disheartening, heartbreaking factor. Now, many of my American black family colleagues, they'll be like, nigga, fuck that. Like, they don't like us, so fuck, we don't like them. That's, that is how that would go. But, that typically comes after the reflection and the retrospection of the situation. This is a traumatizing ordeal. Like, to already be traumatized by the system of racism, that's traumatizing within itself. But then to try to come out of that and realize that you're coming out of that, but the people that you initially wanted to connect with, they have an ideology against you as well. That's additionally traumatizing. Like, if you listen to my other posts, I made clear that growing up that there were things that seemed kind of off as far as being in certain neighborhoods and having certain friends and things like that, and how kind of the families, behaved in certain situations. You'll see that this was something that we didn't necessarily know. And so we have the whole thing of, I'm specifically talking about, Caribbean islanders now, but, we have the same thing with, like, folks from India that can come amongst American blacks. And for a lot of blacks, a lot of times we just think that they black people, not knowing that they are completely different. And then to find that, these people have a seriously harsh caste deal going on over there. I'm gonna go into that a little deeper, on another post. But just to give the context of the like, all I can use is disheartening, of the disheartening reality that people that look like us don't necessarily like us. And that's not all of them, but there's too many of them. And we've all, we can all attest that there's been plenty of comments from, islanders that have clearly stated and shown that they have disdain and dislike for American blacks. That's something, as a child, I would have never thought in a million years. I would have never thought it, man. And so at some point, when you hear all this stuff, at some point, when do American blacks say, okay, well, y'all feel like that? Okay, well, this is how we gonna do it. If you don't like me, fuck it, I don't like you. But it's this thing of when American blacks say that and do that, everybody got a problem. It's like everybody can dislike us, but then if we say we dislike you, oh, you're being divisive or you're causing division. But nobody is coming at these people and telling them that they're wrong for the delineation against us. But when we make a delineation, we're the ones that are wrong according to these people. See, you can't make this shit up, man. It's just like with all of the people who are against reparations and things like that, they'll say, you all y'all want is a payout, and you just want, money that you didn't work for and this and that. And, that's not right. But none of them are going at the continued racism that occurs in the country by people who have been the ones who have always imparted the racist acts and terrorism against American blacks. No one's going at them to shut that down. You tell me how sundown towns still exist in this country. Tell me that. If you can explain that to me, I'll shut the hell up. But I don't understand how people can be coming at American blacks about anything when all of the stuff that we're complaining about still exists. We still have major systems of racism and hatred towards American blacks. And now that we're awake, we recognize and realize that we have an issue of our own phenotypically black ethnic brothers and sisters that they have disdain for us too. That's not something to be particularly enthusiastic about. And keeping it 100, that's a hurtful situation, man. I just want to put that out there. I'm out.
Heart throb never.